shocking political scandal, and the resurgence of the conservative faction on Channel Andre. The story begins with a gloomy and extremely tense atmosphere as Representative Jang Dong-hyok's hunger strike enters its 6th day, pushing his body to the absolute limits of human endurance. His condition has become critical because, aside from water, he has refused to intake anything into his body, causing doctors to warn that his muscles are wasting away at a dizzying speed and his excess fat is being burned off just to maintain life. Medical analysis shows that when fasting for 3 to 5 days, the body's energy reserves become completely depleted, leading to a risk of shock, rapid pulse, and immense pressure on the heart. This detail not only depicts the brutal harshness of the physical struggle, but also highlights Jang Dong-hyok's iron will, creating a tragic and heroic image that stands in stark contrast to the ruthless political calculations occurring around him. While a human life hangs in the balance, a wave of outrage has erupted from the Democratic Party side after a former lawmaker from the party publicly uttered a curse wishing for Jang Dong-hyok to die. The underlying cause of this hunger strike is Jang Dong-hyok's desire to protest the dominance of the Democratic Party and demand the passage of special investigations related to the unification, church, and the Democratic Party's nomination donation funds. However, instead of dialogue or minimal respect, lawmaker Kim Kyu-ji-an of the Democratic Party appeared on the YouTube channel News Engine and spewed venomous words, suggesting that they should let Jang Dong-hyok fast to the end, eat salt, fall into the water, faint foaming at the mouth, be carried to the hospital, and that it would be better if he died. The cruelty reached its peak when Kim Kyu-ji-an asserted that wishing for Jang Dong-hyok's death was his honest feeling rather than paying a fake visit. Not stopping there, the host, Kim Hye-seong, joined in by mimicking the tone of Lee Hae-hoon to scream, "I really want you to die," in a direct attack on Jang Dong-hyok. This action demonstrates a severe degradation in political debate culture, where human life is treated as a joke and a tool for insults. These toxic remarks were rationalized as representing the thoughts of Han Dong-hoon, citing that there was no need to visit the hunger strike site. But this crude manner of expression caused a major controversy. This figure even belittled the political significance of the hunger strike, mocking Jang Dong-hyok for faking death to play the role of a martyr and calling the act of pitching a tent inside the National Assembly the action of a madman. To clarify the portrait of the person making these shocking statements, the video provides a profile of Kim Hyeong-ju, who is linked to these remarks. He is a former 17th-term lawmaker who was elected in the Gwangjin district of Seoul under the Uri Party banner in 2004. He once served as chairman of the Youth Unemployment Countermeasures Committee and was appointed vice mayor for political affairs of Seoul under Park Won-soon in 2011, but was later arrested for bribery in 2014. Bringing up the spokesperson's criminal past is a sharp counterattack, implying that these moral criticisms originate from a person of questionable character and quality. Faced with this inhumane attack, the spokesperson for the People Power Party, Park Min-young, spoke out vehemently in opposition, stating that no matter how heated the debate, cursing another person to die is a shocking and unacceptable act. Park Min-young demanded an apology, while public opinion on social media and online forums also surged with criticism, labeling this action a serious human rights violation. While Jang Dong-hyok is gambling with his life, the Democratic Party maintains an attitude of complete ignorance, offering no response regarding the special investigation requests, which has enraged the public and led to the sentiment that his political opponents have lost their humanity. However, a paradox has occurred. The opponent's cruelty has become the catalyst that united the internal factions of the People Power Party more tightly than ever before. Although Han Dong-hoon's apology regarding a separate issue had not fully convinced the dissenting faction, the hunger strike has caused members to set aside conflicts and rally their forces. The number of party members has surpassed the 1 million mark, and lawmakers are continuously flocking to the Rotunda Hall to sit with Jang Dong-hyuk, demonstrating absolute support. Notably, Supreme Council member Kim Jae-won has also begun a sympathetic hunger strike, creating a powerful ripple effect. On his personal page, Jang Dong-hyuk shared emotional handwritten lines comparing himself to a broken rose stem that will still bloom on his face, affirming an indomitable fighting spirit despite his physical deterioration. This event also attracted the attention of Lee Jun-seok, who moved up his schedule to visit the hunger strike site, indicating a gathering of the entire conservative bloc. The political effect is clearly shown through statistical figures. The number of dues-paying party members skyrocketed from 750,000 to over 1 million, a record number. Specifically, a real meter poll showed that support for the People Power Party rose to 37%, and in the Daegu and Gyeongbuk regions alone. This figure skyrocketed by more than 15 percentage points to reach 60.6%. This proves that voter anger over the opposition's curses has transformed into strong votes of support for Jang Dong-hyuk and his party. The story concludes with a meaningful comparison between Lee Jae-myung's fake hunger strike in the past and Jang Dong-hyuk's genuine sacrifice now, affirming the legitimacy and moral strength of the ruling party. Based on these dramatic developments and the surging support numbers, I predict that in the coming days, the pressure will heavily backfire on the Democratic Party. The fact that one of their members publicly wished for an opponent's death has seriously violated Asian moral standards, which will cause neutral voters to turn away. Jang Dong-hyuk may be hospitalized in a critical, unconscious state, but the image of him collapsing will become a powerful symbol of martyrdom, triggering larger protests from the conservative faction. To appease public opinion, the Democratic Party will be forced to make some concessions or, at the very least, strictly discipline those who uttered the curses if they do not want to completely lose their position in future polls. This story is clear proof that in politics, cruelty is sometimes a double-edged sword that helps the opponent become stronger thanks to public empathy. Will the Democratic Party continue to ignore this, or will they be forced to bow before the power of unity and compassion? What do you think about this act of cursing a political opponent? Please leave a comment below for us to discuss. And don't forget to follow Channel ESQ Andre for the next hot updates.